Day 25 of our 365-day challenge. Archer, Joby, look, you know it, air taxis. And yeah, I'm not in my studio. I'm a farmer. That's what I am. And yeah, this may be the end. This may be the end after 906 videos. After 2 years of the Hustle Brothers. I really think this may be the end. There's a big rant incoming. And we will speak about Archer and Joby. Look, I don't know what to say. I don't know if I can put up with this anymore. I really don't know. And I think I'm just going to pull the lot. 25 days. It's not burnout. I don't believe in burnout. But I'm just fed up. I'm fed up with the investors in this industry just thinking they can come on, have their say, and just be abusive. But it's not only that. I'm fed up. I think I'm just fed up of the industry in general. Look, we must be doing something right. Our critics are now saying that our color grading's off. We have a guy saying that I am not authentic. I don't have audacity in the space. I don't care. I really don't care. I do this for free. I do this every single day. 365 days. All week I've been covering Archer Joby. Not only on YouTube, I've been writing articles on X. But I think, why do I do this? This was my dad's dream. My late dad, rest in peace to him. For me to grow this to 100,000 subs. And I don't know, is it worth it? I don't know, would he want me to go through this? I get it every day. I want 3-minute videos. I want 8-minute videos. I want an hour-long video. Do you know what? If you have the audacity to come here and always tell me my color grading's off, or I don't have authority in this space, fuck off. I'm serious. Just fuck off, yeah? Go pay Vaz. Why don't you just go and join Martin member Lucas? Pay 10 quid for your reviews. Go and pay 25 quid a month. Is that what you want me to start doing? Just charge everyone? Because I'm not being funny. I don't get paid for this. I do this out of passion. Every single day. Research it. I'm a farmer. You can see here. I'm a farmer. I'm out in the freezing cold at the moment. Look, I have people dictating what I should talk about. I had one the last day. Finally, you're covering vertical aerospace. I'm annoyed with you that you don't cover British technology. Fuck off! Go and create your own channel. And you know what? I know I'm going to lose subscribers for this video. But I don't care about subscribers anymore. I really don't care. I do this for you guys just out of pure passion because I'm passionate about the industry. I'm going to be real with you. It's time to be straight. So I don't need to do this. I'm a full-time farmer. I'm a working man, just like you. So to come here and just tell me what I should talk about, what I should do, I don't care. Go follow another channel. Vaz and that other egghead can cover it all for you. If you want professional, if you don't want the way I present, you don't want me sitting here on a farm. Well, I'm sorry. That is what I am. Don't have authority in the space. I didn't say I ever did. All I'm doing is covering videos every single day. Tell me another channel that's doing that. Covering Archer and Joby every single day. I try to answer every single comment. And I think that's my downfall. My promise has always been answer every single person in the comments. But I think that's what's affecting me. I go into the comments, or people are calling me out on X. And because I put myself out there, and because I am the face of this, you're open to criticism. And I get people with no followers just running abuse at me. Look, at the end of the day, I am just a person, just like you, and I'm sharing my thoughts on the eVTOL industry. I do it openly where every single one of you can view exactly what I'm doing. Everything I do is completely for free. I've never asked you for a penny. So I don't know what I've done wrong. Like, can someone jump into the comments and tell me what have I done wrong in this space that deserves this abuse? So do I need to be the head of this eVTOL space? I'm a farmer. Some people don't like it. They want me to come suited and booted, shirt and tie, sit in a studio every day of the week. But look, that's not me. If you want research from an average retail investor, is that not what I am? Or do you want someone from Wall Street to come and pretend they're just an average retail investor and just give you the same mentality Wall Street would always want to give to retail investors? It's a question that I always ask myself. I think I'm fed up of adapting and changing the channel to make everyone happy. And look, I don't care if this video completely tanks. At the end of the day, I don't really care. I think I've lost that spark, lost that fire in me. I don't know what more to say. But look, I know you're here for Archer and Joby. You don't really care about this, right? So at least I got that off my chest. At least I'll let you guys know. I need your support more than ever. Jump in, have your opinion, have your say. Are you in Archer or are you in Joby? Smash that like button if you're in support with me. Thank you guys. See you at EVTOL Weekly, I hope.
Hey.
Oh my guy, how are we getting on? Do you know what? Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm firing shots today. I am firing shots today. We've just banned one guy. And do you know what we're going to do?
Yes,
we're going to go on a rampage. We're going to go banning people. Yeah? So I was sat there thinking today.
Yeah.
And let me present the screen here.
Yeah. Bring it on up.
I was sat there today. And I was like, what do I do? Do I just stop?
Mm-hmm.
And it was definitely a thought in my mind. But you know what? We are going to talk about Archer and Joby because that's what everyone's here for. But I want to do a bit of house cleaning.
Let's do it.
Let's get this. Look, guys, overwhelming support from my video yesterday. I went on a bit of a rampage. I know. Happens from time to time. Now, we had a guy here, Ross Nolan. He pisses me off, bro. Man up a bit. You know what? This guy is now getting banned from the channel. From now on, any abuse. I don't care if people disagree with me. Any abuse, they go. We had one in the live stream there. He's gone, banned completely for life, gone. We've another one. The content's not that good. Okay, meet us at 20,000 subs. Dylan, it's been a wild week. How are you getting on, my guy?
You know, get along okay. Appreciate, Liam being the human that he is. Had the little strep throat something bug going through the house, and be it the man that Liam is as much as I wanted to rock yesterday, and I know that Liam would definitely have rocked the weekly and man would have knocked it out the park on Joby vertical, Aerospace, anything in the eVTOL range. But I'm happy to be here today. We got a bunch of snow around our area, so got to play with the little one out in the snow today. So yeah, been doing that and been deep diving a little bit more on the beta side. So yeah, maybe we'll catch up on that. But yeah, how are things on your side? How you doing?
Yeah, do you know what? It's been a bit of a not a great opener, was it today? Archer down 6.7%, Joby down 4.67%. Horizon Aircraft, I did expect to drop back a little bit, but it did kind of recover by the end of the day, did it? Or no, it's not. It's down 10% or so. Yeah. Canada is under attack from Trump. Trump is going to put in tariffs on them due to a relationship they have with China. I don't really want to get too much into the politics on it. I'd expect Horizon Aircraft, they want to do any sort of business within the US, their stock is going to fall back. I I did do a deep dive on vertical aerospace. That was actually quite nice to actually find out a little bit more about the company. Do you know what? It's been a while. I think me and Reese done one all the way back, and we done it during a live. Yeah, that would have been what, 9 months ago.
Yeah, just about. Yeah. I remember because you were always telling me as well. You were like, just kind of the notes that I would take or point out on Archer. You'd always kind of tell me, you'd be like, Dylan, I think you're going to like this vertical company. I think you need to look at this vertical company. So, you know, maybe it's one of those things. Never too late or something. There's a better catchphrase to it, but better late than never or something like that. So yeah. What if you don't mind sharing, what you dig up on them? What
But you know what? I never knew. I genuinely, and anyone that's in vertical aerospace is going to be annoyed with me. The VX4, I always thought the VX4 was the production aircraft, and I thought, remember how you say this thing has no windows? I don't know, is it going to be a cargo aircraft? What is it going to be? But that is only the prototype. It was only ever going to be the prototype for the new Velo that has came out. Now, the new Velo looks quite similar to the Midnight.
Yeah, it's very, very sexy. It's a very, very sweet design. And even just to the littlest of the touches, you know. I know the aerodynamics, the drag penalties, and I know those are the big things in the aerospace world. But yeah, just to a simple meets the eye. I mean, just the tailoring of the lighting around the aircraft, just those small simple designs, as well as the luxurious cabin that was also in there. You know, a lot of little perks and peaks to like about the aircraft.
Does it kind of frustrate you that we haven't properly seen the inside of the Midnight then?
So I think I go back and forth where, you know, and I think like you say, I think like you say, properly seeing, and I feel like it seems like they have kind of shown that almost broken carbon fiber design out, you know, a bit repetitively of late. But yeah, I'm not gonna lie, the inside of vertical aircraft, man, or aircraft, that just looks like a sweet cabin. It looks like it just not just, I mean, there's so much, it's almost leaving me speechless in the sense of like, it looks so luxurious, it looks comfortable, it looks stylish, it looks like something that somebody in the VIP category would want to fly in. It looks like something that would accommodate the normal person like me, and maybe even feel like my trip is elevated because of what that cabin looks like, you know, kind of like going from shoot, what's the class of air class that I ride all the time? Economy or business class, whatever the regular one. I can't think of it off the top of my head, but whatever the regular seats are, versus seeing what that first class cabin looks like, you know. And even though you're departing and arriving to that same location, again, it's a little bit in how are you arriving and departing and arriving to that location. So yeah, if that's how we're getting there, if that's the look of it, I can see that. And also do again when any of this stuff starts taking, you know, the social media presence, and you have the market survey flights and you get the initial flights out there, you know that people will have a buzz around them, and the better your interior looks, may just be, again, a better way to showcase and market out the potential for commercial operations within that vehicle and your company as well.
Yeah. And then I want to jump across. Joby Aviation had some quite good news this week. Yeah. So they got an approval from the FCC to adapt a radio station for, now, if I can remember off the top of my head, the frequency, sure, it was in the 900 megahertz or so. Look, I am not up when it comes to communications, radio waves, etc. But it was all to do with the testing of the cargo aircraft. Now, I openly said I couldn't really see the likes of the S4 or Archer's Midnight go down that whole cargo route, but it looks like it's something they're really targeting there. Now, it's part of FAA certification that you need to test this redundancy system. So it's not to do this FCC and this new radio frequency they'll be working off. This is not the actual communication line that they'll be using while they're flying the plane. This is basically an emergency line. So if communications went down, they need to make sure they're able to use this frequency. Now, this will be up to 70,000 feet. I didn't realize that the S4 would be able to fly up to 70,000 feet. I don't know, is it just part of the certification that will enable this frequency to go up to 70,000 feet? But people are saying if there's no pilot on board, you don't need to pressurize the aircraft. So maybe it can. How do you feel about cargo in this eVTOL space?
I think it's a winner. I mean, I think again, it's filling the gaps. And one quick thing on the radio frequency, to me, these are all building points. And, you know, we've talked about the vertiports and the EIPP and just these different pieces that have had to fall into place. So with any of the eVTOL companies, again, any program of record, any deal, any acquisition, any XYZ that I see from any of the companies that's forward moving, I'm like, okay, we have forward progress in the industry. So having a telecom deal like that, again, signals, again, whether it's Archer, whether it's Joby, or whether it's Beta, there's forward thinking of the what's and the whys that are going to need to be in these aircraft to, again, have a sustainable network of you know, a mass fleet of these operating in the air. And I don't know, just my dumb brain, maybe a random thought on it. I wonder with the 70,000 feet as well, if there's anything where it's a range of communication. So it gives the ability to communicate, like just like you said, up to that 70,000. So you could be working in your airspace. And then if so, any communication, maybe going back and forth.
That is smart.
I don't know. I'm not that smart, but it could be, it could be a thought.
I never thought of that.
Well, you know, we always try to what is it, bend the envelope and see what we can uncover. So who knows, you know, maybe something like that. And you know, it would be crazy. And I know this is way out of the park thinking, but like, you know how they have mid-air refueling? Imagine if they had like mid-air cargo transport, like package where you could literally like have one of these like autonomous flying, and then you'd have like a big UPS type jet, and you could almost ladder down or like send some down that would send out, you know, the next 20, 30, 40 packages or whatever.
Yeah.
Off, but maybe a 2200 year problem to solve. But yeah, no, I think cargo is almost like I said, where, you know, whether this is true or not, with NVIDIA bringing IGX Thor both over to Joby and Archer, and again, for a company like NVIDIA to continue to hold the market cap and be seen as a growth company and not just as a company within consolidation right now, I think we're still trying to fill the void on what is real world AI until we get to humanoid robotics and what that future may or may not be. So when we talk about cargo, I think a few things that, you know, we've always looked in the eVTOL space. You made a video on it where, what if a catastrophe was to happen in the space? Well, for me, I don't want it to happen at all. But if it was to happen, an autonomous aircraft carrying just cargo would be the, I hate to say it, but like the best case scenario. Thank you. Say it with me. The best case scenario of something like that happening. And so also, I think we're bridging a gap on what the definition of market survey flights can start to define as. I know we want to see these as passenger operation flights and what the cost per mile, cost per seat, the revenue on the books that's going to bring in. But again, if, you know, you get a fleet of, you know, we'll say 20 to 200, depending on what year we're in, you know, on the ramp of manufacturing. So whether 2027 to 2032, you get a contract with your UPS or with your FedEx. And again, it's maybe not so much of a, you know, per seat and per mile deductions that are being made out. But again, you're getting basically this lump revenue dump contract, and it's basically saying that per each aircraft, we're going to give you this amount of money, and that will fly the cargo. So long-winded way of saying I think cargo was the perfect middleman to continue to kind of test out the market case and the opportunity to have the eVTOL aircraft and roll those into commercial ops.
Yeah, so these will be the frequency at the moment is, well, not the frequency, the connectivity they'll be using is 5G. Now, going forward, they said once they get within the thousands, they'll be needing to use 6G. So I'm not saying, I haven't done a review on ASTS. I'm not in ASTS, but anyone that's bullish on this whole space, ASTS could be a good partner for that, for 6G connectivity. Now, yeah, you were talking about that whole, what if a disaster happened? I need to be quite careful how I say this on YouTube. Yeah, if something happened with the general public while they're flying, is the likes of cargo, is the likes of military ops kind of hedging your bets as well? Because, look, I don't want to be pessimistic. I don't think something will happen within the next 10 years or so, touch wood. But I think it's inevitable that things do happen. Yeah. Look at the automotive industry. Look at the rockets. Look at airspace. Look at boats. Things do happen. No matter how much safety features you have on board, there's always that potential for something to go wrong. So, yeah, I do wonder, do they hedge their bets with the likes of going down that cargo route at the exact same time as they're rolling out commercial operations? Do you think it'd be detrimental to the whole industry if something did happen within the first year or two, no matter to what company?
You know, I hate to say it, but my gut feeling is yes. I do say detrimental. Is that saying that the industry would be dead and there's no chance of resurrection? No, I'm not saying that. But, you know, I try to think, and like you say, you know, whether it's a boat company or an airliner or a catastrophe, you know, you're going to have some that are then weary to be on that mode of transportation. And again, I think you'd even have to look in subsets of aircraft, like you have the Cessnas, you know, the smaller aircraft where catastrophes can happen. Does that mean that people are not going out and buying them still? No, not necessarily the case. But you do have, I would say, kind of newer, quote unquote, experimental type aircraft, some that are like from air to sea, and that have some catastrophes that have had with that. And I would say maybe that has maybe had a pullback on them being able to ramp to maybe what that initial companies maybe dream of what their full scale of operations would look like in the sector for them, or maybe what they would be able to grab from the total addressable market. So yeah, I do think it would be catastrophic. And yeah, I think moving the cargo, I think right now, again, like as we have that kind of the race of ramp of manufacturing to the kind of the build out versus where these aircraft are going. I think again, you know, you start to look at who is going to be the ones that are going to be grabbing the partnerships with. So again, basically, I'm wondering if Beta is going to be one of the first to announce that they have the UPS partnership. So kind of once we start going down that lane, also starting to target then into what like the 10Qs and to the actual revenue side, what each of these companies is going to be able to pull in off the different markets that they're doing, like again, per year. Because I think right now, these programmer records up until 2028 really are what's on the cusp of bringing these eVTOL companies large sums of monies. Like again, those in the tens of what could be billions or the billion-dollar contracts, as opposed to at least what Adam has said on quarterly calls, where you're looking at more in the tens of millions of revenue on the market survey initial rollout on the air taxi route side. So yeah. And of course, bringing in money through cargo use cases is one, going to be better for the investor because you're having your product proven out, and that's going to take that risk of dilution away from your company needing to bring in the cash that way. So maybe two ways to good look at that too.
You were speaking about bringing in money there as well. I want to jump
Yeah,
across to Archer Aviation.
yeah.
Where do I start? Where do I start? Um, oh, do you know what? I had someone call out on X. Remember how we were saying that Davos is a lot bigger than what first meets the eye, and they're not just going meeting people. Someone tagged the two of us in it, and they go, "Are you still bullish on Davos?" And I'd say within an hour,
They
we
did
got the
not.
announcement
It
of
did not happen
Serbia
that quick.
at the expo,
No, that quick.
and I was like,
We were just behind the wall signing the deal. That was that. You know that's why I caught my cold. You know, Davos brings the sore throat sometimes. So no, never been.
"Oh."
Happy to go if anybody wants to send the invitation. Though. Yeah, happy to go. Yeah, that's so crazy though.
But yeah, Serbia
Mhm.
Expo 2027. How are we feeling about that?
You know, I like it, and I like it for a few reasons. And I'll pop the video back on. I like it for a few reasons. One, it shows again what I've kind of hoped and kind of spoke about, where going to these events such as Davos aren't just a big PR stunt, and where it's not just to go shake the hands. And you know, I did put the picture up where it was kind of like the kind of the growth of the relationship of Carp and Adam. And again, it's just 3 pictures, so you know, I'll let the pictures kind of do the speaking for you. But you know, you kind of have Adam, who looks like he's not quite getting the $200 haircut yet in the first picture, and then you know, a little bit. Oh, and I think the second one was when they officially signed the deal at AirPcon, and then the third one was, you know, Carp being Carp and P signing it up or something, I believe, and you know, taking the photo with with Adam. So that was cool to see, and you know, I think Davos is given that opportunity to really step into that it's not technological technology side of what their business could possibly be, and continue to set the grounds for making these relationships. So it was great not only to see him reconnect with like the head of JetX, and again, like I already spoke about Carp and stuff like that, but just as you mentioned, to go over there and also land the deal with Serbia. And what I think is so cool about the expo, I don't want to say Belgrade. So Expo 2027 Expo. But if anybody can get me the pronunciation, I'll definitely start saying
Belgrade.
Belgrade. Belgrade. Okay, Belgrade. I'll do my best. But yeah, but what I like about it is it's almost giving me that preview that I was thinking to hope to see at like your World Cup 2026, or what was the event? Super Bowl
Super Bowl
27.
27.
Yeah. So just being able to see, and also what I liked is through that deal, Archer's not shying away from, again, they're MOU basic deals, but getting they're not shying away, because I would think you would have to be somewhat transparent with these companies and these relationships, where you're basically saying, I'm going to have the ability to build X amount of aircraft. So sure, I'll sign you up for 25 of them, but they may not be deliverable until 2030. You know, I can give you 3 for the expo. I might need those back, or, you know, whatever it is. But I actually kind of liked seeing the additional 25 that could be purchased, just basically for the reason I just stated, where they to me, that they feel confident, Archer C-suite feels confident in presenting the information that the aircraft will be available, and then to obviously behind the doors, maybe telling those connecting partners when those timelines are. So yeah, what you thinking?
I'm sorry, did you see that video of the midnight?
Oh, the sexy one.
Oh, it was beautiful, wasn't it?
Yeah, man.
No, originally,
Mhm.
did you put up something about military? And I was like, yes, I'm on the same mind there, but I
I,
don't think it is.
I think you're right. I don't think it is. I think it was just a beautiful mock-up of the midnight, but it was something about the intro or the cutaway. It just had me. It was like reminding me of that Andrew. I guess it was the logo or something in there, but
It was
yeah,
the light coming on, yeah, on the
yeah,
front of it.
and definitely don't want to, not to start a rumor, not nothing like that, but yeah, it was to me just kind of like, okay, you know, what we got going on here is that we got 704AX cooking. We got, because I think that's something with Archer I'm actually really interested as well. It's like, you know, we've talked about 704AX coming out being the vertical. Curious on a few things. I'm wondering with 703AX, I'm wondering if they'll type design it and switch it to a switch the back props out and switch it to a 4. So then you would basically have 2 aircraft right away that would have your 4s. Or if they're going to keep running that as basically a CTOL and just use that in operations when and where needed. And then I'm also very curious on what we had heard 2 earnings calls ago, I think it was, on the 6 being in final production and 6 in final production, 2 in final assembly in Georgia. Sorry if I misquoted that.
6 in production, 2 in is it 3 in final assembly or is it 2?
I'll hope for 3. 2, we'll say 2 or 3 at the moment. Hopefully 3 by now. But no, I'm curious to hear about that. Learn a little bit more about that, because I was actually going to say that, you know, we've gone into the last earnings calls. I know we're about a month away, maybe even a little bit less for Joby, but you know, I feel like the last 2, at least the last 2, it's been like, this is the most important. This is the most important earnings call in the eVTOL industry, and I don't want to say that the next one will not be, but I'm very curious what we're going to learn and hear about guidance from both of these companies on this earnings call to kind of, again, Q4 close out, you know, that quote unquote fiscal year and the books and all the info there. And then start projecting forward for guidance and CapEx going into what will end up being like a 2027 year and such. But yeah, I think that quarterly earnings call, that Q1 call that will come after that, I think that might be that next like pivotal moment. Like this is that. But I think again on Joby's, it will be interesting to hear now that they've done the power on testing, what updates we'll end up getting on that side, just to maybe hear how much further they are in that type of application, just strictly from their shareholder deck. I'm sorry, the shareholder letter and the deck that comes out as they usually present on that side too.
Then I have a few more things I want to talk about of Archer, and I also want to answer this to sorry to change the subject, but Liam didn't want you to think of the HOVR call. We will speak about HOVR in a second, said Stacker.
Yeah.
Guys, I'm feeling generous today. I want to give away 10 memberships. Smash that like button. Smash that like button. You have to be subscribed. That's not my doing. That's YouTube's doing. You have to be subscribed if you want to, and you have to have memberships gifting turned on. No, I don't know how you do that.
Interesting.
But you have to have memberships gifting turned on. I'm gonna give 10 random memberships away. Bang that subscribe button.
Awesome.
And also smash that like button as well.
Nice.
But jumping across to the comments, we have, let me see. Archer is 810 aftermarket. Can it go lower? Is this support? I think it can go lower. I think someone put it quite nicely there. We could see 750 this week. It all depends on the macro market. Now, normally when something collapses this quickly, you might get a bit of a recovery tomorrow. I think we've banged on that door of $9 for so long. It would be nice to overcome it. However, macro conditions at the moment are just that little bit weird. So it's just so hard. I've had a lot of people commenting on videos. Should I buy in today or buy tomorrow? Number one, I can't give financial advice. Number two, we're at such a weird stage in the market. I don't want to say one way or another, because if I say one way, it's going to be the other way. Put it that way.
You know it. Yeah, and on the fib line, it's like if mine still has it as it is, it seems to be holding around at 803, but I mean the fib can drop down to the 680s and stuff. But like you said, Liam, and that's one thing I love. It's never about going to tell you to buy or sell, because I think sometimes too we always, again, whether you're trading, it's all time horizon stuff as well, but really listening out to hear how long of an investment this can and will be. I don't know. It's just it makes me feel good about the consolidations, and as well as like even when Joby was retracing down to the 14s, it's like even as we were looking for Archer to bust through that 9 and hold over that 9. It's been interesting to see where Joby's been able to retain it not breaking the lower level of support. So it is really keeping solid around, not dropping under that $14 range. And then if it does, that gets ate up pretty quick and then bounces off that so far.
Then we have a nice question here. I will address that in a minute because that's part of the news. Any Japanese corporation holding Archer, we will talk about that. Then we have Todd says 4,000 shares of Archer. Lennart is up to 4,650. Big shout out, Lennart. I did read your comments. I will respond to everyone's comments from yesterday. I think, what was there was near enough 80 of you, so big shout out to you, my guys. But Lennart, I did see your comment. Thank you. Nathan, doubled down on Archer calls today. Almost cut my average cost in half. That is either the most genius move known to man, or it's risky as anything. Do you know what? I'll be honest with you. Remember back when Archer dropped to 650? The day before all that happened, I bought $8 call options. Remember that? And then all the bad news came out, and I was gutted. But no, do you know what? It all worked out in the end.
Hey, Liam, you want to talk about gutted? All right, so it's Friday, right?
Yep.
I'm looking at the option flow. It's like 12 in the afternoon or something like that, and I'm just feeling something, so I go into options and get something loaded up, and I'm like, man, these options look cheap, man. We got like 1 penny options, so $10 contract.
This last Friday, yeah.
3 cents to go a little bit more out the money. So going through and thank goodness the app I use has a few dummy control settings put in there already. Because I'm telling you, if it was click and clack, they'd have been gone. So I was like, oh, let me be easy. I'm just going to do 5 contracts, just like little $50 at, little Friday 0 DTE gamble or, whatever. And then, I hit execute or whatever. And then this thing goes from like taking the money from our brokerage. And then it's like, whatever it said, but it was like, okay, and collateral is 500 shares. And I was like, whoa. I was like, I've never seen this screen pop up when I'm trying to buy my call. So again,
you're doing cover calls, are you?
I was about to backdoor myself into a cover call that I did not mentally think or plan out.
And it was going to be a naked cover call as well.
Yeah, I don't know if it would have got. Yeah, I didn't know if it was going to. Anyway, I was able to get it canceled. I don't know if the 500 would have got called away by the end of the day, but man, if I wasn't sweating it, like I had. So yeah, I'm sure most are better than me, and they're just all small learning lessons that when you get them in the investment, sometimes share them out with the community so nobody else does. But yeah, when you want to buy that call, make sure it's buy call and not sell call. And I'm glad I have those 500 shares of Archer still in my
God
portfolio today. So yeah, man, yuck.
Safe and skin your teeth.
There they go. Yep, we are safe.
Mr. T-Bar is 4,650. Do you know what? Yeah. No, it's dropped back. Remember that portfolio I was talking to you about, the one that had crossed the 200K? No,
I do.
Oh my God. I think it's down.
Yeah.
It was 184 Friday. I haven't even looked at it today. I'm really thinking of putting in a massive buy order for both Archer and Joby. Not really caring about what my average is, just getting in and just forgetting about it. What are your thoughts on that?
Actually, that's a great thing you touched on right there, because I think for me with the shares of Archer, Joby, again, it's not something that I dislike the company Joby or don't think they'll succeed. I've just always been one to, when I've accumulated shares and there's been a certain percentage gained, I've just been one to sell those shares. for me with Archer, I'm just been able to ride the waves and go through accumulation phases, and that's just how I've played it with that. But sometimes I do sit and think, do I kind of take the bird in the hand right now and just kind of revisit the pod and kind of keep going through and recognize that there could be the swings to the 9, but the dips to the 8-10s, just as easy. But maybe I guess also something, it's something where when Joby took off and Joby really did its thing, it found those new support levels quick, and it kept holding them. And even though it got up to your 18s and 19s and didn't quite hold those going into the new year, it's still holding that 12 and a half, almost $13 billion market cap pretty steady. So yeah, I think that's just one of the things. Kind of scared that, one of the days I'm going to wake up and for that swing trade I was doing in Archer, all of a sudden, I'm not going to say it's VTOL news, because again, in my head, I'm just trying to remember that, listen to the quarterly earnings reports, listen to what the company has said on the VTOL. Don't just go off of what my head or heart would hope and want for this company to VTOL. But yeah, no, it's very, very curious times to kind of get in, get out, get in, get out. So yeah, I'm kind of thinking that I have some price points on Joby. I think anything below 14, I'm being curious about accumulating some shares there. So anything in a kind of 12 to sub 14 range, I don't feel too horrible personally for me getting in that. And I think I'm just trying to make that decision whether or not those will be kind of ones that run, sell, accumulate elsewhere to the portfolio, or again, if it's kind of like, sometimes you miss a cost basis around $6 and $8. But if eventually it's going to be a $30 to $50 stock, whatever year that might be, $12 to $14 cost basis isn't going to be the worst thing in the world. So yeah, I'm kind of with you a little bit.
I'm in two minds, guys. Do let me know what I should do. Nathan, what strike price do you go for, and what's the execution date? I'm feeling confident. I might follow you in on it tomorrow. I might follow you in. I don't think we're going for a massive downturn. I do think we're going to recover. These things always do, these macro conditions. So, Nathan, do let me know. Remy, 16,000 shares and 12,000 a Joby. Big shout out. Do you know what? We'll be sitting on the beach together.
Yeah.
You know what? You can go buying all the drinks because you're sorted, my guy.
By the island.
Do you know what I might do? Because I always leave it till the end and then I forget about it. Guys, smash that subscribe button if you want to be in for a chance to win a membership. I'm about to drop 5 of them here.
Nice.
If I remember how to do it.
And maybe while you're queuing that up, maybe I could just drop a quick beta, little news, interesting, little something I was finding in there. I don't know if I shared it on X. I'm gonna try to be a little bit better about, I know there's a lot of Joby coverage out there, so not trying to step on toes or anything, but if I find anything interesting on Joby, I'll definitely share it out there. But going through beta, I was able to get through the SEC forms, and two of the big things that stood out to me were the forms that have already shown over 5% ownership in the company. So I don't know. I don't know if many people have been talking about it much, but it is I want to say it's a 8.1, but I think it's a 9.1 ownership by the General Electric company. So for me, that's a pretty standard name, kind of household name company. So interesting to me that General Electric would want to have that kind of backing in a company like Beta. Again, when we talk, now it just hit me. Now we talk about the charging networks that go into there. Because I was going to go down the cargo route, but even again now that General Electric dynamics and the charging, it'd be interesting to see if those two work together. But then also it was I'm gonna get the acronym wrong right now unless I loaded my spreadsheet, but I think it's like FRM. But it's Fidelity's brokerage. It's like called FRM LLC. Sorry if I'm getting that wrong, but it's the Fidelity Brokerage,
Okay.
and they have a 15% stake ownership in Beta. So when you combine those two percentages together, you're looking at I think 24.9 percent or so, 24.9, something like that. So basically, just again, as we look at the other companies, as we've been kind of saying, again, whether you're into hover and looking at kind of the backing and the partnerships and the deals that are coming or will come to fruition with them, we've looked at, obviously a lot on the Archer and Joby side. So
Yep.
just thought that'd be interesting. If anybody is into beta, just to know who those investing partnerships as of late have been.
Guys, jump in the comments. Let us know, are you invested in Beta? I'm not in. Dylan's slowly adding. I want to know who our
I
biggest
added a few
investor is.
more.
Did you?
I did. I look at it and there's, a word that I heard of as of late, which I think that brings us back to a little bit what you were saying earlier, which is opportunity cost, and it's one thing to have accumulation and to be able to have, and that's, and again, everybody I'm sure is going to have their own variable of strategy, So for me right now, I'm looking at how did my last year perform? And if I felt like my last year did substantially better than the S&P, then maybe I have that opportunity to go through a quote unquote accumulation year. But you kind of always want your money to be working for you if that's what you're doing in the stock market. So it's like, you don't want to just, again, I'm speaking hyperbole. So not to you or, just the general use, but it's like, those opportunity costs that are out there where, like I even said I think I said something compared to like a share of SoFi. Like, yeah, I could spend this amount of money. It might even have been a comment about Beta where it's like, yeah, I could buy a share of Beta, but I could just go buy a share of SoFi at the same time and most likely have a more solid thesis on why that's going to go to 35 in the next 3 to 9 months versus why Beta would go to 35 in the next 3 to 9 months. So I think for me with that, when I'm seeing it on those 8% decline days, even though it's very small DCAing at this point for me in it. But yeah, I kind of just don't want to forget about it. But
Yeah.
yeah, come that time, February, March, April, where we kind of get the real shakeouts and everything. It'll be interesting to see where it settles. Yeah. Be interesting.
I keep saying to myself, I need to
Yeah.
like put market shares into it, but I just don't know.
I
I'm
know.
bullish about the company, but it's like, guys, 5 memberships given out. Randy Worms, big shout out. DT
Nice.
Rich, Howard Pratt, Rhino Skin, and Mr. Tebow. Mr. Tebow,
Love
big
it.
shout out, my guy. You're always here.
Love it.
Guys, it's not too late. We will drop 5 more, so make sure you smash that subscribe button and smash the like button. Then, okay. Nathan has an $11 strike for February 20. Hope I got enough time for it to play out. You're only a vertical takeoff and landing transition flight away from it. Is it too early? Ooh, less than a month. What are your thoughts?
I'm just putting in my head let's say for that date, I'm just putting in my head that there's not going to be a VTOL prior to that date because I think that would take us into Q4 earnings with us already talking about VTOL. So very bullish if they're to do so. I think for me, what I'd be worried about more is just how volatile the that ticker Archer can be, and where general press releases and a release of certain macro conditions. We were seeing 13s and 14s last year, and I even if we say one was around a Tesla rumor and stuff, I mean, that's I mean, that's still a massive amount of money that's pouring in, like, so keep an eye on it. I'm not gonna say it's good or bad. Do I think they're gonna veto prior to that? If I had to put my money on it, even though my money is on it, I'm saying no, they're probably not going to veto. But am I saying a press release or some other sort of something couldn't
Put it this
happen?
way: if we VTOL in February or if we VTOL before the 20th, I'm expecting some massive announcement at the earnings call, because I don't think we're going to go in ramping up with that. They're either going to announce it at the earnings call or announce. I don't know. It's so hard to say. We're in such a weird phase at the moment. But then, like, if we hear more about this Anduril hybrid, that could.
That's a good one, because I thought you were gonna say, but no, I'm glad you said that one, Liam, because I was gonna say we still don't. It's still, I mean, like even people in the Palantir community, I'm waiting for them to start talking about this ATC system, and I just don't feel like I hear enough about it. And that doesn't mean I don't think it's gonna happen or it's not real, but again, again, per the press release or whatever, you get this breakthrough at Hawthorne that happens February 3rd or something like that. Oh, no, that's a week away. But anyway, just throwing out general dates. But you get something at Hawthorne that goes. And I think again the big thing is whether it's buy the rumor, sell the news sort of events on it, depending on the date that it comes in. It is fluctuating a lot on that short interest that's being put out there for basically the general float that's out there on. So again, that's what's adding to a lot of the volatility. So you have something that's going to get some of the institutions or so have their short positions who want to cover those quick. That's going to be those days where you get to see those 20-30% jumps for Archers. So yeah, it's and I guess when I think about the playing the options, it's definitely, I think it's great to have a mindset of collecting premium and letting that again, that opportunity cost not fail you while you do have the shares, and being able to make those premiums and make that collateral back on the shares. But again, maybe just deciding how valuable are those shares to you, because maybe an $11 strike, maybe if it hits 11, maybe you're okay with those getting called away from you and either saying I'm on to the next ticker, or that, hey, I'll be back in Archer when this or that happens. So yeah. Tons of ways to play it.
By the way, Nathan, we're not trying to put you off. You watch.
No.
Me and Dylan will be eating our words come February 20th.
Yeah.
So don't worry about it. It's not the first time I've been wrong when it comes to any sort of price change. So I wouldn't go off my saying whatsoever. Dyke Jackson says, I know this is out there, but I sense that Archer will end up not only being a leader in the eVTOLs, but also taking deep dive into AI. That's why I'm so into Archer. I actually don't think that is out there. I actually agree with you. I don't know, would they go down the whole Tesla route where they're going to really push for AI? But changing the space within aviation using AI, I could see it. Dylan, what are your thoughts on that?
Yeah, and I agree, and I think what, at least for Archer, just because they seem to be the one that has the pivoting business model that's a little bit more transparent, and some distastefully transparent, and some okay transparent, to look at again what Archer and what Archer Air will be. Is that trademarked to be in a AI sense and using a ATC platform that's integrated with Archer so deeply that again you're running off of an Archer Air network? I don't know. That's a lot. That's a lot to ask from Archer. But yeah, it's but again, what is the AI integration? I just, I don't know, but I do see, and again, I guess it's how we're defining AI. Do we, what are the CCAs, not CAAs, the CCAs that fly along, alongside the manned helicopters or fighter jets? I could definitely see maybe a play of the autonomous ability going in to have those go into the missions as well. So yeah, I think right now there's a lot to be seen, and all these companies being a solo commercial air taxi network, I think is just scratching the surface of what we thought they could be. And I think in the last 6 months to a year, both of the industry leading companies have both proven out that AI defense car, there's more to them than just a point-to-point air taxi network.
Then Joseph Blogg says, which other VTOL companies apart from Vertical are pushing EASA and CAA VTOL requirement that includes a safety objective of 10 to the 9, the same as passenger airlines? I don't know under the FAA's certification, but I'd presume so. They would have to go under the safety standard of passenger airlines. Joseph, do you know what? I'm going to promise you something. I'm jumping in quite heavy into vertical aerospace tomorrow because they're actually exciting me. So I'm going jumping in. We can be vertical buddies, my guy.
Nice.
Yeah, what are your thoughts? If the FAA, I would presume their safety standard is the same you'd be going for passenger jetliners, no?
Well, and not to be apples to oranges on this, but the one thing I do like about the US companies and the UK companies is going back to the Paris Air Show and the I-5 Accord, I think it was called, but having the United Kingdom and the US, both two of the countries, because I know we've had the talks of FAA and GCAA aligning and sharing data both back and forth, where again, FAA is kind of the gold standard of aviation safety and securities, and not to knock the others, but just where they're kind of taking that star, or some have said they take that star or whatever. But yeah, it's to me, I think right now having also the legislation backing coming from the UK is something that does have me very interested in kind of the growth story that vertical it has and is playing out right now on them. So yeah, I'm excited to see. I'm always excited to see Liam's videos, but yeah, you kind of got me on the edge of my seat, ready to see the vertical one too. So yeah.
I think I need to start covering vertical a little bit more. I actually have planned up this week. Now, guys, I'm sorry, but if news comes out in the industry, that always takes priority over my deep dives. But deep dives, I want to deep dive Joby, then Horizon Aircraft, and then I want to deep dive Beta. I've done Vertical Aerospace and Archer this week, and I want to do them free. Now, I'm not expecting wild news, but if wild news does come up, I can't promise you it'll be Joby, then Horizon Aircraft, but that's how it is going to go. CNC, Chris, my guy, I'm late. You really ending this, or is it clickbait? Do you know what? When I got that video yesterday, I promise you, on my dad's, I don't even want to say it.
Yeah.
I was certain I was going ending this whole thing. I was going ending the hospitals. Didn't want nothing to do with it. This, that, and the other. And then, do you know what? Do you know when you get that fire inside you? Where like I started getting the likes of Ross Nolan. There was some Michael guy, and then there was someone just before the stream there that you seen what he said. You can go back. I put it up on the screen, and I thought, you know what? People don't want people doing well. So I thought we'll just try and prove them wrong. We're a community here. So I'm just going to start banning people. Left, right, and center. I'm just going to fire from the hip. Anyone, I don't care. People can disagree with me all they want. I actually enjoy a bit of back and forward with disagreement. Like, the amount of times I deal with people saying you cover Archer more than Joby and stuff like that, that really doesn't bother me because that is just personal opinion. It's when people get nasty. Like, you seen what that guy said at the very start of the stream. He will never be back on the channel again. Ross Nolan will never be back on the channel again. You can go back. I don't know, would you be able to go back and read this comment because he's banned. That Michael fella said our videos are boring, no substance and stuff like that, and you'd have a lot more views. Views speak for themselves if you were interested. So do you know what? We'll give Michael another chance when we're at 20,000 subscribers. Before then, he ain't coming back. So Fast CNC, to answer your question shortly, yes, it was clickbait, my guy. But it wasn't intended to be clickbait when I originally done it. Dave says clickbait, I hope. Yeah.
Well,
my guy.
and on that too, Liam, you know, the more and more I get to know you and have got to know your video style, like, I'll be honest, nothing that I've ever seen from you. And again, like, not to be some, but just out of left field, like, this is my reputation as well. And like, I see Liam as a friend, a coworker, a confidant, a liaison, a bud, a mate. Like, I even started, like, I've almost called people mates. You know, I talk with Liam all the time. Like, hey, mate, you know, I'm like, that shit, man, that's Liam. That's Liam's word. Like, I'm talking like Liam now. But it's like, I really do feel like he does have his heart, like, on his sleeve, both about life and about the industry. And I don't think he would ever put anything up. I know he never puts anything up to make you buy a stock, to sell a stock, to hold a stock, to buy a different stock, buy his stock, buy, you know, whatever. One thing that's always attracted me to him and his channel and to Reese, and also, you know, even in the what I found in Liam's videos and the titles is cleverness. You know, it's always something that I always see, the way that Liam is able to title a video and to have it be a story. And it always has its way of coming around, you know, and it's like, I don't know. So just my personal opinion, you know, even if someone would say, I don't even see it as clickbait. I see it as Liam's personality, and it's like he's gonna let you know how he feels. And if you got the time to listen to it, or give the time to listen to it, it's probably gonna make some sense for what's going on in the industry. And for me, not too, you know, not too off the mark either. And I think something that I've had to learn in the market, and I'm glad I have, is some humility and some patience, and just kind of realize that, you know, with thesis intact, the roulette wheel will come around, and it will land. You know, it, I mean, shoot, even just Archer, it landed a few times last year on that slot machine. You know, everybody's decision on if you wanted to hit cash out during those high times of the year. But yeah, teaching me patience, and to know that, you know, if I have conviction in a company, whether it's in the eVTOL space or outside of the eVTOL space, be patient, have time, have my time horizon set, and put the money to the best place that I know to in the market at that specific time. But yeah, only to say, I can definitely feel a sentiment of, man, do I just get back into this in 2027 or something? Yeah, but I don't know. I love it too much, and I'm not going to be missing the cat. My portfolio is not going to be missing the catalyst. And when those do happen, you know, we'll talk about buying into strength and how we play it at those points in times. But I guess back it up, we will probably never tell you to buy, sell, or hold it. We'll just tell you how we feel about it, and how excited we are that this new catalyst is taking place, and what that now means for the runway of the eVTOLs going forward. So but yeah,
Well, put it this way. I honestly don't care if you buy, sell, hold, Archer, Joby, whatever. It is not going to affect us unless you have billions and billions of dollars. Then I might tell you to buy. But yeah, I don't know why it would benefit me if you bought, sold, hold, do whatever you want. You know, I take the mick out of the Motley Fool, so there's no what you call them, some deals. Whatever deal they do, where they want you to buy it, where they want you to buy, sell a stock. Nah, that's never gonna happen. I don't think I'd ever get a deal like that because I fire from the hip too much, and I'm too much for yo-yo or a seesaw.
He's unhinged. We don't know how he's gonna be today. It's like, nah. It's like, we'll just cover the companies and let the companies do the work. And that's actually like a note that I put down. And you know, to keep in mind, it's like, I mean, Liam, you doing your work on the farm. You come in, you do your thesis investment work. You do your homework, staying up on the eVTOLs. You're just and this isn't even me like trying to glaze Liam. This is just me being honest. Like doing the daily challenge, keeping up with that. So that's the hard work you're putting in, which is more work that I'm putting in. Coming doing my DD, but Liam doing the everyday content, and for everybody else. But my point is like we're doing our best as 9-to-5 workers and retail investors to build portfolios with the best thesis that we can come together. But it's people like Adam and Joe Ben, and Kyle Clark, and Brandon, the CEOs and the teams that these CEOs have built that are coming to work for 40 hours to 80 hours a week, I'd imagine, doing like literally the design, the manufacturing, the labor to get us across the finish line in our retail, kind of thesis and dreams. So, as you know, we put a lot of hard work in. I know everybody in the chat, I'm sure, puts a lot of hard work into their investment DD and their theses as well. But also
I actually learn a lot from some of the guys in their comments. Do you know what? I need to give a big shout out to Wild Saddle. You must comment 3 or 4 times, and it's always bang on information. So a big shout out, my guy.
Love it.
But there's so many of you that just come with absolute gems. Yeah, that's nothing. The challenge is not ending. The challenge is going. I don't believe in burnout. I don't believe in any of that. That is 365 days. Now, a confession. I haven't recorded a video today. This can be day 26. Or no, do you know what? I'll push day 26 to tomorrow and we'll just go from there. I will eventually drop 2 videos. Do you know what? I'll drop the Joby and the vertical aerospace in one day and I'll call it 26, 27, something like that. We will catch up again, guys.
We'll forgive you.
We'll do 365, I promise. Then the net says, let's hope there'll be some good news this week again, guys, so it'll jump. Yeah, look, I don't think... Do you know the one thing about the human mind? It's one of those when everything's going bad, you can't imagine what it's like to be good and see that push. And when it's all going green, you can't imagine what it's like to be bad. So, yeah, honestly, I do think we put too much pressure on ourselves when it comes to stock price. Genuinely, if we're going holding this for the next 10 years, 15 years, 20 years, does it really matter? As long as the company don't go bankrupt and as long as they're not diluting the shit out of you, does it really matter? Whether it's $8, $10, $12, if it was $100, maybe I would think of.
Well, and like you say, Liam, it's, to anybody, let's say you were a first-time investor during the summertime where you were either kind of thinking either coming off of the Fallon or coming off the Tesla rumors, and let's say you decided not to sell the next day, not to take a loss on the profit and you still decided to hold your shares, did kind of at that point maybe get maybe a peak of interest into what the company was, what the product was, what the product development is, and then doing more research. So just kind of curious also with anybody that was kind of new time buyers last year, maybe summertime moving forward, if there's been that continued, I don't know, just kind of like want to DCA and kind of acquire more shares while you're having that opportunity to lower the cost basis. Because again, it's like there's probably going to be all 3 of these, but it's like you're going to have some that right now have the opportunity to acquire shares lower cost basis. You're going to have the very early investors, the ones that were maybe not so much 21, but in the dips of like the 22 and stuff, when you were able to pick up the $2, $3, and $4 shares, where now you are buying maybe a 2 to a 3x over what your initial buys were at. Or again, if you're sitting with a cost basis in the $7 to $8, is this just time for you where it's either like, hey, this is kind of what I intended on buying at, so I'm going to pause, wait to see what the company's doing for a month, or it's like, hey, this is exactly what my cost basis is. It's not going to affect my cost basis much on the buys. So, but like you say, Liam, unless we get the surprise VTOL, whether you wake up tomorrow for your buy or you sleep through tomorrow and you wake up Wednesday, in the long-term picture, no financial advice, you're probably going to be okay. Probably.
Guys, what is your time horizon for the stock.
Mm.
Genuinely, I actually worked mine out the 23 years minimum for me.
Okay.
I'll be 50 then.
I like that. I like that.
I can
I'm kind
reassess. I'll probably go into safer stocks then. To be fair,
of,
build your wealth and away you go. Dylan, what's your time horizon?
you're such a lucky gentleman, Liam, being in this game 12, 13 years younger than me. So my time horizon is going to have about that minus our years of separation in age. So so for me, I turned 40 and 25. So and again, I think my time horizon, it would be a lovely goal. It's a lovely mental goal I have, to have 20 years of merit service in my county job, to be able to pull a pension check at 20 years, to have that be a decent amount of retirement paycheck or percentage off the paycheck, and then have that be about a solid 12 years of Archer investment at that time. And so basically seeing where the story has played out in 12 years from there, and then hopefully maybe possibly being able to retire out from the main job, and then see how the 401's doing on that side, and then see how the actively managed one is. But yeah, it's definitely also been the temptation where you do have a lot of belief in the company, and you got my 9 to 5 running the 401, and I'm like, that would be kind of nice to just dump into Archer right now and wait 10 years. So,
It gets me excited, but it gets me nervous too,
it is, it's always one of those things, if I buy it tomorrow, if I did it tomorrow, it would go down to 650. But I think in 5 to 10 years, with everything in the business staying concrete, guidance being as close to what it can be, UAE milestones, defense milestones, commercial milestones, public adoption, more and more and more. I think this market, I think this industry does have a true chance, a true chance of success, and I think we're very early in. And be ready to ride the volatility, and yeah, I think it'd be a fun time.
Then Goatgame says in 23 years, Archer will be one of the safest stocks out there. Do you know what? You could be right on that. While Saddle, I do options on vertical, waiting on beta to come down for more so I can buy in. Do you know what? I think we're all going to go in as a big army of it together when beta comes down.
And you kind of click that, Liam, when and go big up, big up to you on that, because it is, it's going to be curious when it is that, if and when beta is that falling knife. So I think I want to say like 2250 to 23s or so have been the low. So is it the psychological range of 20 that starts getting people when it hits fit? So just again, it's gonna be interesting to see when that volume really starts to kick in. And I'll have to do a little bit better job before I say it out, but I don't think that there's an extremely large float out there on beta. So I want to say again, and again, that's a big thing with Archer. You got a huge float and huge short interest. So that's where, again, that can play into the volatility. But again, also 60 million shares can be traded in a day, and you may have intraday highs 5-6%, is around a percent up or down on that range as well.
Then Zed Stacker, I nearly forgot about you, my guy. What do I think of Horizon Aircraft? No, I will be doing another big deep dive on it. Do you know what? I've already thought of what I'm going to do. I'm going to cover absolutely everything in Horizon Aircraft, so it can be not only a beginner's guide, but people can get some value out of it, even if they're invested in it. But Zed Stacker, on a quick note, I think they're a lot safer than they were before that earnings call. I think the cash, was it another 11 million they got in cash? I think they've something like 24 million now on the books. Runway's looking good. The prototype should be finished by 26, flying 27, commercial operations 28. you know what? It's getting exciting. I was getting a little bit worried for Horizon Aircraft, but do you know what? You guys are doing really, really well. Look, I'm going to be honest with you. I'm not going to go out and lie and say, look, I went and bought a heap of Horizon Aircraft. I haven't. To me, it's still too risky. I think Archer and Joby are risky enough for me. Like, some people say Archer and Joby are extremely risky, and they are right. But to me, I'm going a step back again if I'm going after Horizon Aircraft. Look, the potential and the runway is insane. And if you do come out on top, do you know what? I'll be looking at you guys in the paper and thinking, what could have been? But Zedstack, a big shout out, my guy. And thank you so much for the support. I had a lot of the guys there saying, this is day 26. This counts, you're off the hook.
You guys are nice.
Yes, this counts as a video. Do you know what, guys? Thank you so much.
That's community right there. That's dope. I like that. Much love.
Honestly, have I got me super bullish? Almost 70,000 shares.
Hey,
oh my god! You know what? If you are right, and that does 100x, would you fly us out just to
Well, he's gonna have
a party at your house.
Right? Yeah, I mean, yeah. Z, you gonna own the company. Like, with all respect, when you're a 51% owner, can I get a hat? You know? yeah. No, that's dope, man.
Brandon actually commented on one of our videos last week.
Yeah.
What did he say? Big shout out to the brothers that hustle.
Yeah,
I was like, big up Brandon.
Yeah.
I need to get Brandon back on. I'm trying to sort of fit it around what I'm doing at the moment. Guys, when do you want Brandon back on? Do let me know.
Yeah.
Well, to be fair, Liam, it went down 27% last year, so you don't really do good in the end. You know what? Do you know what? You know me and price targets and everything like that. I'm useless when it comes to that. I'll give you all the information in the world, but if I could have that's why I bring you, Dylan, here. Yeah, because I need a financial advisor beside me and be like, no, you're going a little bit off the hook here. You have the information, but
I am Liam's, not your financial advisor. Yeah, no doubt. You know, no, but Liam's on, and it just, again, it just makes me smile. It's like the love in the community, and these are ones where maybe one of those rhetorical debates, does TA matter more or do fundamentals matter more? For these stocks, are you a chart guy with the technicals, or are you a fundamentals? And it's with these, I think they're gonna marry each other. They're gonna date each other at times. They're gonna marry. They're gonna fight. But yeah, it's always gonna be tough to call the highs and the lows, because you never know when a random short report is going to come out on one of these companies, and we always know that that's going to have some volatility shock to it, even if it usually can bounce back pretty well after it. And again, you never know when these companies are going to have those surprise deals, just kind of on the other side of it. So, but yeah, I think it's always dope to see anybody. And for me, again, it's not about how many shares you have. I proudly say I'm up to my 4 shares of beta. I own a little bit more Archer, just to know that there's more skin in the game. But I think it's super dope whenever somebody's got like 70K shares or something like that. So for that, even you get my rooting interest then for the company. So even if I'm not invested in it, I'm just like, okay, for Z, let's do it.
Joseph says, which one of us would be the first passenger to fly an eVTOL? Anyone living in the UAE? No, do you know what? Dylan, we can't let the channel down. I will fly us over to the UAE once commercial operations happen, and we'll do a video. Now, if any one of you guys try and beats us do it and does manage to do it, at least let me know, and I can send you a free Hustle Brother t-shirt that you can wear on it.
That's right.
Nah, big shout out, Joseph. Yeah. Do you know what? It's coming to that stage where, like, look, 2 years ago we were covering this, and then these things had not even flown, and now it's coming to a reality,
I'm gonna throw a random one to you, Liam. What do you think was the catalyst that got the iShow Speed creator
On EHang.
linked with eHang? Like, do you think that was and this is total random question I'm asking Liam, so just off the cuff.
He does some mad random things though. Like if you ever see what he does be doing, he goes out to all these random places and does the most random stuff. So I don't know, did he reach out to them? Did he see who has a flying vertical takeoff? I don't think he intentionally meant to push the industry, and he just thought, look, this looks cool, let's go and fly on one of these.
Sure.
But no, that was actually quite good hype. Now, I don't know if I'd want iShow Speed representing my company, but
we'll still take on representation if needed for first flight operations for the VTOL companies, you know.
We'll come suited and booted, I promise.
Yeah, exactly. We got ties, you know. Yeah, we can dress right. We'll be dressed appropriately, Duffy. You know, no sweats. You know, we'll get it right for you, Duff. You know, we'll take care of it.
We'll be on Adam's X page. It'll be like me and you meeting all the bros, my guy.
There you go. And then we get the handshake. You know, and we let them know what the handshake's like.
Guys, last chance, smash that subscribe button. I'm about to drop 5 new memberships because you know what? I'm feeling in a good mood right now.
Love it. Can't believe it's Monday already, man. I was like wondering. I'm like, shoot. I was like, as much snow as we had up here, I was like, I doubt things are gonna close the market because of it. How'd you guys do with the weather?
Oh my god, did they? Oh no. I can see it randomly going around. I genuinely thought CNC got another membership.
Oh, he doubled down?
J Orba got one. Oh my god. I gifted myself a membership.
You're subscribed?
I'm subscribed. On my other account, I'm subscribed and it's gifted me a membership. I've got a membership to my own channel. Max Seymour's got one.
Nice.
My guy, do you know what? I'm going to put this name in the chat because I cannot pronounce that. Has got one. And then I Am Vector has got one.
Okay. Clap it up.
Well, I actually promise I would gift you one if I physically could. They genuinely are random because I've just sent myself one. Don't worry, Liam, I went down with you on this one. I need one. Big shout out. Do you know what? Next eVTOL Weekly, I'll do another giveaway again.
Super cool.
Do you know what? We're not fucking leaving.
That's right. That's right. We're here.
We genuinely are going to push forward. Look at them subscribers there. Do you know when people said we wouldn't get to 5,000 by next year? We're going to get to 5,000 within a month and a half or so. Next earnings we'll probably have 5,000, and then we're going to accelerate quickly. We've turned the switch up on this. We're pushing out more and more. I want to start getting back into some deep dives as well as dropping the news. Want to hit on a bit of everyone. Yes, I've reflected. Color grading may be a little bit off, but what I might do, I might get myself another camera. Do you know what? I've actually got a gimbal now, and that's how I do it on the farm. But that camera was quite good. It's done me 2 years up to whatever, but yeah, I'll get one. I want another microphone too. This microphone's hit and miss. So yeah, microphone, camera, but that ain't gonna happen till the market goes green. So guys, you can make the market go green. Thank you.
Right. But also real quick, Liam, too, on the subs, you know, thank you for everybody that has liked and subbed to the channel. And just one thing I see as the subscribers grow is, you know, this is really one of the only real eVTOL based channels that you're going to come to and find. And with Liam doing the live videos every day and with the weeklies, you know, it's always been really the concept of this is that time of the week where whether you're happy, mad, sad, angry, super pumped about it, like, let it fly, you know, like this is like that. I can't think of the word, but like, yeah, just vent, let it out. let the
fire from the hip.
excitement
Honestly,
yeah,
that is my saying now. Fire from the hip, guys.
It's like, you know, this is, I think, a total like community-based event that we can all come to each week. And I just hail that into the subscriber growth. To me, anybody that's in the eVTOL space, and again, I don't have the crystal ball, but as the subscriber grows, to me, that's almost like institutional support into a stock. It's like you're seeing more eyes come onto the space. You're seeing more people interested in what the eVTOLs have to offer in the UAM ability and what the range of timelines and catalysts are. So to all those that have been here and subscribed and watching, thank you so much. Anybody that's new, if this is your first or second, thank you so much. And, you know, as the channel keeps growing, I believe that that's an indication that the eVTOL wave and the eVTOL market and the industry is continuing to push forward. And, you know, I think as we're all the eVTOL investors and enthusiasts, at the end of the day, we're all looking for these air taxi networks to come to fruition, and as well for the envelope of these companies and really what they can do from defense to cargo and everything else we spoke about, charging network stations. And I mean, there's a gambit of things that these can take hold. And I think we're learning more and more that there's going to be a three-dimensional world of traffic and mobility that's coming to us, whether again that's point-to-point, person-to-person air taxi networks, autonomous flights, drones for cargo, just like drop off at homes. I mean, this 3D space is growing and emerging. So thank you for being here and being here early. And yeah, the Liam's not going anywhere. So I'm gonna stick with him, you know.
Well, do you know what, guys? Also, I want to leave you with this. Have a think about it. Dylan used to be my moderator. He's now just one of the Hustle Brothers. So Dylan can't always be checking the chat and this, that, and the other and be able to kick people out. What I want to do, I want to bring on maybe 3 or 4 moderators that really you just be looking through the chat. You have full authority to just ban people from the channel. If you see them on any videos, I don't care, just ban them from the channel. Please don't just go banning random people just because you don't like their opinion on Archer or Joby. But if they're being offensive, not only to myself or Dylan, but if they're being offensive to another community member,
that's fair.
That is also not allowed. So, guys, if you want to be a moderator, do jump into the comments after this video. And yeah, look, I recognize most of you guys, so big shout out. Also, anyone that commented on my last video, I will jump in now. I will respond back to each and every one of you because I want to show my thanks. Also, all of you guys that commented on that video, I'm putting your names on the Wall of Fame for the Hustle Brothers. They are the OG Hustle Brothers. This is the community. And do you know what? I'm going to start giving... That's what I'm going to do next weekend. We're going to give away 2 or 3 Hustle Brother t-shirts. Look, you cannot buy Hustle Brother t-shirts. We are not selling merch, any of that shite. But no. I'm going to start giving away Hustle Brother t-shirts. And do you know what, Dylan? You can have one too. Oh, yeah, there you go.
I was going to say that it's a one-on-one. It's a one-of-one. Like Liam says, he doesn't sell merch. But again, just backstory. This man was kind enough, as my son will pop on to the weeklies, and before I, was even feeling comfortable being dubbed a Hustle Brother, Liam took me in, hands open, and took my son in as hands open too. So this was, an early Christmas present to him. So just want to say, just big thank you to Liam. This guy, he's got a huge heart. Yeah, he's just, I'm telling you, he's good, solid people, man. He's
your good. Son. I'm not gonna say his name on the live because we don't know who's watching, but
I appreciate it.
Your son, if he's interested in stocks when he's older, he will be the person of the torch of the Hustle Brothers. He will be yours.
Pass it. That's right. I'm gonna be old and crippled. I'm gonna have to with legacy passing the mic and say it's on to you, young man. You take the torch.
We'll be sitting there, hopefully on the beach, looking at the midnight, and be like, "Yes, we done it, my guy.
We did it right. That's right,
guys. Thank you so much. Hopefully, the market will pick